Hi friends, welcome back to Easy Stash Builders Book Page Edition Part 2. Today we are going to be taking our book pages and creating a variety of pockets. I have 3 different ones in front of me that I have made, and I've also taken some paper strips and created something a little special on the side, and I will show you that at the end of the video. Grab your book pages, your glue, a little bit of embellishment, and let's craft together. Hi, it's Carrie from Created Me Creative, and welcome to my cozy little corner. So I have got a few different ones here that I have created. They are so easy. That's why we're doing 3, maybe 4, but just grab your book pages. I have some old Reader's Digest. I've got another book that was falling apart. It's a little newer, you can tell by the patina. I've got some old German music. Again, a book that was falling apart. I have an old recipe book. I have dictionary page, and I have a regular music paper as well. So we are going to create with that. Just some glue. I have a little ink just in case. I've got Victorian Velvet, which is a pink, and I've also got my vintage photo. And I am actually creating some stuff for an upcoming project, so you keep an eye out for that. I will be starting a couple of journals in April, and I'm excited about that too. So let's start with this one right here. Actually, you know what? Let's go with the easiest one. This guy right here. We are just going to take a book page, and I've made one for the left-hand side of the book, and I've made 2 for the right hand. It doesn't really matter, I guess. You could put it in on the right-hand side, but that's what we're going to do first. So let me do one with music, and I will do one with this book page right here. And I will fold one way and one the other. So let's do, I like the rough edge on the outside. So from the clean corner, you're just going to fold down, just pull it over slightly. It doesn't really matter. The angle is completely, you could make it straighter, you could make it more angled so it's coming down to this corner. That is not going to matter. And then we'll do this way on this one as well, just because I didn't want the big title showing. And I don't think I want it that far over. Now, most of the journals I make are just regular copy paper folded in half. So here in Canada, it's the same as the US, and it is 8.5 by 11. So that would give me an 8.5 by 5.5 journal with the paper folded in half. And so I try and make sure that everything's going to fit in on that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.25. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.25. So this will be the exact same page size. I could trim up after I'm done if I needed to. And these are simple. I am just going to use a little bit of glue stick. And I'm not gluing it all the way down. I just want it to stay tacked, just like that. I don't mind the edges popping up a little bit. Gives it a little bit of movement. We'll do the same on this one. Just a little bit of, you can use a wet glue if you'd like. Any glue you have, really. And then with these ones here, I decorated them fairly simple. This one I used just a cigar label, which has the most gorgeous bird on it. A little bit of gold, some flowers. This one here, I used a ticket and just a little sticker that I had and just a little bit of music paper. And then this one here, I used another ticket and this vintage ladies and just a little bit of lace. So let's see what I can find here. I have some goodies here. I have the wax stamps that we made a couple of weeks ago, so we could do some of that. Actually, that would be kind of fun. There's one there. I love that. And then I've got that little flower. Maybe we'll do the wax seal on the music. I have some washi that has words on it. That's always nice. Let's see what else. I have some of my circles that we punched from the last time too that are left over. Could use some of that. There's one with a little pink flower. We could do that. We've got the blue. Actually, that one's got a little bit more. I want to play with the pink that's in this here, so maybe I'll add a label as well. So that one is good. This one, I don't want two circles, so that's the only thing. How about the butterfly sticker? I think I like that one better. Oh, I have this really pretty tatting. I think that would look lovely. Let's see if I can do something with that. So what are the chances of the sticker peeling well? Now the only problem is, oh, I got it. Now that's gonna kind of blend in, but I don't mind that. It's a little bit darker, which is nice. And then, maybe we will go with something a little softer than the green. Maybe the bronze. I like that. That's nice. I don't want to cover up the butterfly too much. A little bit of glue. Now, if you don't have these supplies, you can use whatever you would like to decorate. You don't even have to decorate right away. That's the nice thing, because you could, I'm just going to cut this so that it's only 3. You could just do the bases and have them stashed away until you want it for a journal that you're making. And then you can decorate according to the journal that you're making so that it will match. And a lot of, it's a lot easier that way. I have the journals I'm making in mind already, so I kind of know the colors that I'll be working with. But I could also see just doing mass makes of just the bases, and then they're right there and ready to go. I'm just going to push that down a little bit, and there we go. 1 page pocket done. Let me grab a journal and I'll show you. Okay, here is a journal. I'll open it up to a page, just like that. Oh, let's see if I've got something a little with more color. so you can see it. There. So that you can just easy stick on. This one's a little shorter. That's there, like that. And then you've got your pocket. Or you could put it on this side and then tuck in from this. That would work too. Either way. But that is the one already. I'm going to leave this journal just off to the side so we can... All right. Now we'll go back to this one. And then we'll move on to the next pocket style. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you will grab supplies and craft along with me. It's fun. It's a lot more fun to craft with friends. And I wish you were here so that we could bounce ideas off of each other. Just gonna, I know I stamped that with blue, but I'm gonna put some pink around the edge. And that way it will go with this. Let's get some, I think this one I'm gonna leave kind of popping off the top there a little bit. So don't want glue on that corner. And this is just from a scrapbook pack. Just part of the cut aparts. So we'll put that there. I think I will add the circle in this corner here. My glue has been giving me trouble lately. I'm just going to take that off and then not squeeze as hard. There we go. And we'll put that in the corner there. And then this little label has that pink on it. Let's see. Let's turn that so that there's more blue showing up there. And then I think I'm just going to put that label right across there like that. Let's ink it too. And then that is 2 pockets done, and we will move on to the next one. I think I'm going to turn it this way. And I'm going to leave that label empty. I may put a word on it later, maybe stamp some numbers on it. I'm not sure. Let's pull this back in. See, just like that. Another pocket done. All right. Let's do, so we've got those guys. We'll move those out of the way. Let's do this one because it's the next one on top. Again, you're not going to believe how simple these are. So let's do this one with, let's go with this book page. Now, again, because I know my journals are only going to be 5.5 inches. We're going to take some off of this. So I'm going to line it up. And I'm going to rip down the edge. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 6.5. So I think... You know what? I think I'm just going to use this side. Let's do that. Move that over there for a minute. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'm going to take this off the bottom, make it a little shorter. And it's not going to be as wide as this one, but we're still going to do, and I stitched around this one. I used my sewing machine and I went around the 3 edges, but this one we're going to glue. So we're going to bring it right up to the top. Actually, you know what? I like to be able to read my writing. So we're going to turn it that way. And then we are going to find the middle, which is right here. Gonna grab our scissors. We are going to cut down. I think I'll cut down just to above the top of that title. And then we are going to fold it back to the corner. Just like that. We're almost making it look like a little collared shirt. And just like that. And then I'm going to grab my hole punch, and right in the center on the back one, we are just going to take out just a slight notch. And I think I'm going to have to put a piece of paper behind it. Sometimes the thin paper does not like to punch. Come on. All right, there we go. So if you can't get it to punch, if you put another piece of paper, now that was a pretty thick piece of cardstock, but even just another piece of paper, it will help you with that punch. And I won't I won't sew it this time. I'm going to glue it. So up one side, up the other side. Smoked salmon mousse on cucumber hearts. Alrighty. I'm not going to glue these down because we're going to decorate it. So let's see what we've got here. I've got this cute little circle. Man, that's thick. I like that. That'll be cute in the middle. And then I got this little lace pack from, believe it or not, Dollarama. Just a regular dollar store. I couldn't believe it, actually. I was quite impressed. And all 4 laces, they're just very pretty. All right, we will do, actually, you know what? No, I do want the white. And I'm going to, maybe I want to do a bow this time. See if I can tie it before I cut it. There we go. And then I will pull these down just like that and snip it right there. That's very pretty. Just going to stick a pin there so it doesn't go unraveling on me. And again with the pink ink. I'm really loving this. Excuse me. I'm really loving the Victorian velvet. It's just, I think because it's, you know, spring is coming, and spring makes me think of pink and flowers and soft pastels. And so, and I think I'm going to ink this little envelope in the pink as well. Now, if I wanted it to look a little more vintage, I would do it with the vintage photo. But this one, I'm going to make it pretty in pink. And I should have done this before I glued it, but I'm going to try and get in there. There we go. Maybe do these edges too. Beautiful. All right. A little bit of glue. Just going to put that right. And that's the reason why I didn't glue those down, because I knew that was going to go on top. And now we just have to figure out where our little bow is going to go. I think I'm actually going to put it right there. And I'm going to grab Fabri-Tac because this bow is a little thick now that I've tied it in. And I think I'm going to put it on that side. Just in the center. And how quick is that? There's another pocket done. Now this one can be glued on the page. Bring that book back in. You could glue it on 3 edges. Move up here so you can see it. 3 edges and have the back pocket here. And then you've got this pocket here. You could glue it on 2 edges, so then you could actually tuck something bigger in behind, like that. And then you've still got the little pocket in the front. So yeah, the couple of options. You don't even have to put that in the corner. You could put it in the center. You could even actually glue it just down the 2 sides and use it as a belly band if you wanted to. And you're not limited on the size. The only limitation for the size of this pocket is the size of the page it's actually going to go on. But other than that, that's it. There it is. All right. So now we've got 2 of those. Put those over here. And now we've got this one left. And this one has, here we go. This one will have a pocket at the back. There's a pocket here. And then there's another pocket here. And this one is a shallow pocket. This one is a medium-sized pocket, and then that one you can use as the full depth of the paper. So let's get some. Now I just used dictionary page on that one. I think this time maybe actually I'm going to use the other music paper. If we can, let's go there. And what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a quarter. So that's about as wide as I want it. And then, you know what? Let's not be so precise. This one I cut in 3 pieces. Let's actually, because I'm going to do the music this way. So let's do one. And then I will make this flat again. And then we'll rip this way again. Two. And then let's use dictionary page. I might have to trim this up. I'm winging it now. All right, so let's rip some edges off here so that it's the same width. Let's turn that way. All right, so, and I'm eyeballing it. So I'm gonna go here. Like that. See how I'm layering it up? Bring this over a bit. And then we will do one more. Let me even this out again. I was just checking what words were on the back. And let's go from here. Like that. And we'll just do that. And we'll ink it. This one I'm actually going to do in the vintage photo. Let's glue these together. Get that out of the way. A little bit there. A little bit there. Across the bottom. We'll get that one on. I do need to bring the glue up to the top, like that. And I could have done back and forth with the music and then the dictionary, but I decided not to. So this one needs glue all the way along there. And then I'll come across the bottom on this one too. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. There we go. And then we'll bring this one right in there like that. And across the bottom here. Again, it's just so simple. I love being able to just use the stuff that we have on hand to create something like this. And again, now we've got, let me find a little, we've got pocket 1, pocket 2, pocket 3, and then the big pocket when you glue it on the page. So 4 pockets from 2 pieces of paper. And this one we can decorate. Let's see what I have. I have a box here with a bunch of different, I just throw things in that have words. And as you can see, I just take book pages that have good titles and I throw them in the box. Anything from digital, I throw in this box. This one here has a date and then the number So I will cut that, I'll fussy cut that out. What else have I got in here? This one I fussy cut from a book, chapter 2. Just little pieces from digital kits and scrapbooking kits. Even this little kitty cat. Just trying to pick these back up and put them back in here. There we go. Get those out of the way. Ooh, how about that? Enjoy the little things. I like that. Enjoy the little things. And it's got little flowers on it. So this one we'll do in the pink. I always have this dish filled with little things, and when I find it, I toss it in, and I never know what's going to end up in here. I've got lots of little words, and these little crocheted flowers. Ooh, I wonder if one of those would look nice on there. It's kind of pretty. I like that. All right, so I don't want to glue this all the way down because I still want to be able to use that piece of the pocket. So we'll only do that. And I am just going to make sure that I didn't glue it down. Yep, we're good. I do need to put some glue here though. There we go. How do I feel about that little flower? I kind of like that. Yeah, let's do that. And then maybe I will stamp a little pink butterfly up here. Let's do that. I'm gonna use my Fabri-Tac. So maybe let's see if this little bird and flower will work. I think it will. All right, let's put it right there. That's cute. Just subtle. Just subtle. Okay. And that is all of the pockets we have made. Now this one I did off camera, obviously, and it's just straight cuts. Helps if I hold it. Straight cuts. And then I just did the little divot. But it's the same concept as this one. I just ripped this one. Let's move that out of the way. So there's those two. And then we did this. So we've got those. And then we did these guys. And I've got 5 of those now. And it takes next to no time. I think the hardest part of the whole thing is finding the stuff to decorate it with. But if you were to just do bases without the decoration, you could probably whip up, you know, a dozen or 2 dozen in half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Just depends on how fast you are. But it's just book pages. So while I was playing yesterday, I decided to take strips of paper, and this is our little bonus, and I made paper ruffles. Now I sewed them on my machine. I had them with me when I was sewing that other pocket, but you don't need to do this with a sewing machine. Let me just, I've got this already ripped down, so let's just do it right in half. You can literally fold your paper into a little ruffle And you don't need to be precise. Just back and forth. Just like that. And crease it all down, and you can just drop glue underneath each little fold. Just like that. And right there, you have yourself a little paper ruffle. And you could tuck it onto the side of a pocket. You could tuck it onto the side of a page. You could kind of layer it up. Like I could have layered it underneath this little gaffer here. It's just a cute little addition. So don't throw away those little pieces of book page, because you can do that. It takes a little more time. It's sometimes easier just to run it through the sewing machine. But if you don't have a sewing machine, don't think that you can't have paper ruffles, because you certainly can. And they're super quick to make, and they're super adorable. And it's just a matter of quickly folding back and forth. Just like that. And I don't measure my folds. I don't do it on the sewing machine. I don't do it when I'm doing it by hand. I like the organic, however it lands, it lands. It doesn't matter if it's straight, if it bends. Just like that. And actually, when you're using the glue, you can sometimes make it even thinner, because when I'm doing it on the sewing machine, I don't like to go too thin. That's about as thin as I go. So, and again, you could just add it to anything, really. There. Cute little ruffle. Looks like a little skirt, a little mini skirt. Super cute. So yes, paper ruffles, pockets, tucks, you name it. And that's all just with book pages and what we have. Decorate them, don't decorate them, just leave them in your stash until you're ready to add them to a journal. And then you can decorate them to match your journal. I had a ton of fun. I want to thank you all for being here. I absolutely love crafting with you on Saturdays. And yeah, I look forward to next weekend. So next weekend, we're going to do another book page project. So make sure you still have some book pages left. I don't know what it is yet, but just have your book pages ready and your glue, because those are the two main things that we'll need. And then Thursday, I have an adorable little journal flip through that I want to share with you. So we will see you Thursday, and then again next Saturday for a craft along. And I thank you for being here. Blessings, take care, and we'll chat soon. Bye-bye now.